wife's left leg with gin. I do believe Old Johnny Bigga were a silly old bugger, and a silly old bugger were he. Now old Johnny Bigga, he thought it was a sin to rub his wife's left leg with gin, so he took the gin and he poured it down his throttle, and he rubbed his wife's leg with the bottle. I do believe Old Johnny Bigga were a silly old bugger, and a silly old bugger were he. Now old Johnny Bigga went walking one day, and down by the river he did stray. He slipped and he fell and he went with a shout, but there was no bugger there to pull the bugger out. I do believe Old Johnny Bigga were a silly old bugger, and a silly old bugger were he. Now God made man and man made money. God made bees and bees make honey. God made the devil and devil makes sin, but we'll have to dig a hole to put the bloody bugger in. I do believe Old Johnny Bigga were a silly old bugger, and a silly old bugger were he. Now old Johnny Bigga, he went to heaven, and he reached up there at 7:10. St. Peter met him at the gate. He says, you'll have to go down there, 'cause you're 10